You want to know how I learned the hard way? That power is just theater unless you let it control you. Picture this. I'm standing on my front lawn in yesterday's jeans, clutching a lukewarm mug of coffee and watching a 50-something woman in a pencil skirt bun, tight enough to give her a facelift, pacing my property like she's CSI. Clipboard measuring tape phone pressed to her ear, narrating every step like she's documenting the Lindbergh baby case, all because I'd tossed a scrap of plywood over a puddle on my driveway. I'd only moved in 12 hours ago. Not even HOA, right? Well, that's what the listing said. Non-HOA in bold. Escape the drama. Yeah, that happened. But the joke was on me. My dream of freedom lasted all of one morning before Scarlet White, yes, that's her real name, declared war over my temporary violation. If you've ever seen someone absolutely lose their mind when told no, you'll know exactly the flavor of crazy I'm talking about. See, my moving truck's backup beeper had barely faded before I spotted Scarlet stalking my perimeter. She'd stop crouch snap photos of my DIY bridge over the ditch. The previous owner told me it was an ancient utility easement, nothing more, 2x4 plywood just until I figured out a better fix. But here's Scarlet documenting my board like it's the Watergate tapes. She barked into her phone, "This eyesore violates Section 4.2, as if she was quoting Moses from the HOA Bible. Community drainage standards apply to all properties, she hollered, even though mine was 50 feet outside the HOA. She actually said, "My husband handles legal matters like that was supposed to make me rethink my choice in home improvement materials." By the time I poured a second cup of coffee, Scarlet had made 3 laps of my yard taking notes, standing in the street, burning holes in my siding with her glare. I almost went out there to explain it was just a board. But you ever see a predator lock eyes with its prey? That's what her body language said. No block party invitations coming my way. I figured she'd leave it alone after her little stakeout. Nope. That night I found a cream envelope slipped under my door, no stamp, no return address, just my name in huge block letters. Inside, an official HOA letter, property violation for unauthorized structural modification to community drainage, signed Scarlet White President. I nearly spit out my wine. I wasn't in the HOA, she couldn't do this. Right. I called the number straight to voicemail. Emailed bounced back. Check the HOA site, last update 2018. I shrugged it off as an administrative mistake. Monday, I'd call the county, clear it up, go to bed thinking this was over. Then came the 7 a.m. door pounding like the police were after a fugitive. I stumble out in my bathrobe to find Deputy Miller, county sheriff, and Scarlet, arms crossed, lips pressed so tight I'm surprised her teeth didn't crack. Got a call about a drainage violation. Miller sighs, clearly wishing he was anywhere else. Scarlet launches into her performance clipboard out, voice trembling with authority. "Deputy, this blockage violates community standards. These apply to all properties, utility easement, blah blah." I see Miller scrolling through his tablet, probably Googling crazy neighbor with clipboard. After 5 minutes, he looks up, all patience and pity. "Ma'am, utility easements are county jurisdiction. HOA can't enforce here. This isn't a violation." Scarlett's jaw drops. The look like a kid who just realized the magic trick wasn't real. She tries to pivot, fake customer service smile. "Officer, I think there's some confusion." He cuts her off. "No confusion, ma'am." Scarlett's eye starts twitching. "Miller tells me, sir, check with County Public Works before you do anything permanent, but this is normal maintenance." He walks off. Scarlet lingers, staring her face, calculating like she's lost a battle but not the war. And wow, was that an understatement. A day later, my inbox pings a city code enforcement notice. Official tone countdown clock, 72 hours to correct non-standard drainage modifications or pay daily fines. Turns out Scarlet filed a city report claiming my violation impacted shared infrastructure, which triggered an automatic inspection. She found a loophole. Suddenly, my non-HOA status wasn't a shield, it was a target. Within hours, I get a call from my insurance company. They flagged my home as high risk due to multiple municipal incidents. My premiums might spike, can't tell me why. Just ongoing maintenance disputes. The chain reaction is clear city report triggers, insurance review triggers, stress migraine. It hit me, Scarlett wasn't randomly filing complaints, she was systematically weaponizing bureaucracy. Each official report, even if bogus, built a paper trail that could haunt my insurance, mortgage, or future sale. Most folks would just give in to make it stop. Not me. I tried a practical fix, outdoor carpet to keep mud off my shoes. The next day, another citation. Obstruction of utility maintenance zone. $500 fine, $350 inspection fee. Someone had clearly been watching photos arrive before the carpet dried. It got worse. Mortgage company calls my home is under review for ongoing civil disputes. Refinancing, forget it. Scarlett's campaign was now threatening my entire financial life. That's when things got cinematic. Saturday afternoon, I spot Scarlett live streaming from the sidewalk, official vest, tripod, laser pointer, narrating to her online community about my alleged infractions, marking my driveway with yellow spray paint. She looks straight into her phone, declaring my home a boundary between HOA and non-compliant areas. My house apparently was Exhibit A in her battle for suburban order. That night, I went full detective, digging through my closing paperwork, reading the title exceptions like my life depended on it. The original easement county jurisdiction. HOA had no say unless written into the deed, which mine wasn't. I dug deeper, satellite maps, old records. Turns out the utility easement predated both my house and the HOA. Scarlett was bluffing. Just as my brain started to melt in walks, Dorothy Williams, 70-something silver-haired former history teacher, HOA veteran from 3 states. She knocks, says, "You must be Charles." Time we had to talk about Scarlett and her creative legal strategies. Dorothy lays it out. Scarlett has been trying to expand HOA power for years, always voted down, always ignored by the board. But instead of accepting it, Scarlett started filing city citations and harassing non-member homeowners. Dorothy's got documentation, minutes, emails, stories about others who caved after months of fines and threats. She proposes a site walk, invite neighbors, confront Scarlett in public. Sunday, 4 of us meet at the easement. Scarlett struts up confident with a laminated technical memo she claims proves her authority. But when Dorothy and I ask to see the original Scarlett Dodges, says it's archived. I call the county planning line automated system, says contractor memos aren't legal proof, only construction guidelines. Scarlett cracks, starts shouting about technical nitpicking. The neighborhood starts paying attention. Afterward, I get an anonymous text. "Stop digging or you'll regret it." Now I'm shaking. But with Dorothy and a neighbor named Sam, an electrician who's tracked weird utility usage at Scarlett's address, we start piecing it together. Turns out the HOA did drainage work without permits, faked records, redirected water to county lines, and used Sam's initials to fake approvals. The evidence is damning. The board meeting is a powder keg. At the meeting, we lay out everything: photos, minutes, emails, usage spikes. Then Jason Kelly, Scarlett's ex-husband and actual JK technician, stands up and confesses Scarlett pressured him into creating fake paperwork, then forged his signature after their divorce. When he refused, the campaign ramped up. The whole room erupts. Scarlett tries to shout us down. "I'll dissolve the HOA, I'll take control myself," but the board votes her out 38-2. As she storms out, her own planning notes spill onto the floor. Meticulous outlines for manufacturing, technical justification, and planning cycles of property resistance. Theater, plain and simple. After the dust settles, Dorothy takes over as HOA president. She implements clear legal boundaries and a neighborhood fund to help any resident targeted by official-sounding nonsense. The checklist for complaints is simple, transparent, and most importantly enforced by the community, not a dictator with a clipboard. People finally start talking to each other, sharing documents, strategies, real barbecue instead of legal threats. Scarlett, stripped of power, is left wandering the sidewalk, flying a drone invisible to everyone she once terrified. The county blocks her calls. Her grocery store privileges get revoked when the partnership dissolves. She can't even get a discount on eggs. 6 months later, I get a key in the mail, anonymous, leading to a storage unit full of proof, fraudulent permits, old fake citations, enough to keep the county honest for years. The real victory: nobody's afraid to mow their own lawn anymore. The real lesson: the scariest neighbor isn't the one who lets their grass grow, it's the one who knows how to weaponize process and paperwork, hoping you'll be too tired to fight back. But if you stand together, know your rights, and keep your receipts, even the strongest performance can't survive the rain. So tell me, have you ever seen power abused in your neighborhood? What did you do? Drop your wildest HOA or neighbor drama in the comments. And if you made it this far, you deserve a trophy or at least a barbecue invite. Hit like, share your story, and remember, sometimes the best way to defend your boundaries is to make sure everybody else knows where they are too.